Happy 2022, friends. Let's be clear here. Barcelona had a very challenging year in 2021, right? Lost Messi, the greatest player of all time. Bartomeu was removed. We lost Kun Agüero to heart issues. Sent Griezmann back to Atletico Madrid. Had several brutal thumpings in Champions League and in La Liga. And so 2022 starts off just not much easier. Barcelona's got tons of COVID and injuries. They had a very limited squad, so they had to bring up people from Barcelona B. All that being said, Barcelona moved to 5th place in La Liga. 1 point behind Atletico Madrid, 2 points behind, 2 points behind Real Betis, which means we are in Champions League hunt. This win, Barcelona over Mallorca, 1-0, was a huge win. Now, while both teams did have issues with, supplying a full squad, and Barcelona had to pull a lot of players that don't start, they got the 3 points, right? They got the 3 points they needed, and I have to say, with the squad starting, I thought they did a really good job with what they had in the back. Barcelona did have a strong squad in the back. Araujo on the left, Garcia and Piqué both in center backs, and Mingueza on the right. Now, you would think typically that Araujo would start on the right, vice versa, but not in this case. Ricky Puig, De Jong, and Nico in the middle, and then Luuk de Jong, and Alcamach on the right wing. So it was a different offensive squad, and to be clear, you could see that throughout the game. You could see that there was a little bit of a disconnect to the offense, especially on the wings. The wings were kind of invisible in this game. But let me break out some of the things. I just wanted to reflect on the game and kind of say a few things that I saw that I thought were pretty interesting. Okay, so I did see at the beginning of the game, it seemed to be a little bit of a contentious relationship, but Araujo and Mingueza, there was a point in the beginning of the game where Araujo sent a ball over to the right side to Mingueza and he headed it. And it wasn't a perfect header, and Araujo threw his hands up in disgust, and I was kind of like, it's kind of weird. But taking into consideration, I'm sure they're both battling for that right fullback position, or at least their position, which also means that when you typically play a position and somebody else replaces you for it, it means that the coach wants more out of it. They're not satisfied with your play, and I'm sure that is Xavi finding a way to get this team to compete with each other and to get better play out of the players. That's how I saw it. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm completely exaggerating this, but I have to say, while the right side did have Alcamach and Nico on the right side, there was a hard time for Mingueza getting the ball distributed with them. Mingueza was really pushing up that right side pretty well, pretty efficient all day. Araujo doesn't do as good of pressuring up on that right side. I'm not going to lie, he's just not as good at getting into the offense. And the crosses were amazing from Mingueza. And I'm assuming that's why he was put there, right? To attack down that side. And it's nice to see Xavi's decision to press the defensive up top. You find out really fast that you may have a lot of problems in your defense, but if you're always on the attack a lot of times, as long as you play conservative on the transition game, you can keep them from scoring on you. I thought also, if you take a look, it was a 1-0 game, and Luuk de Jong, he had a great job pressuring for the goals, right? So there was a fantabulous, almost bicycle scissor kick in the first half where Mingueza plays the ball right. It was a perfect ball, scissor a little bit behind, but I guess it was a good spot. Got the ball to Luuk de Jong, and he almost hit it, cracked it. Bicycle kick off the top post, doesn't go in, but it was still a good ball. Then you go to the 44th minute, and then Mingueza also plays another ball for Luuk de Jong as a header, which was the one goal to put Barcelona ahead. So remember this, while Mingueza may not have been perfect distributing to the midfield and the forwards, right, as they're probably not as familiar with each other's runs, but when he did press up, he made the opportunities for the goals. He almost got two. Created two opportunities to score. I thought Mingueza was probably an unsung hero in this game. I thought he did a really solid job. I thought he penetrated the space, he closed it down, and did a really good job of defending. He needs more credit for his crosses and his penetration. I really think so. Now, in the 76th minute, Mingueza went out with cramps. So then that put Langley in the game, putting Orojo on the right side. I didn't feel like it was as dynamic at that time. I know people love him. I know he did a good job. And I know he does a good job battling for positions. Let's be clear. Orojo he was always in the box about to get the crosses, right? He was in there in the box, but he was beaten by Luuk de Jong for the goal. And then later on, PK, he was right next to PK and he was trying to get it far post. Maybe coincidental that he's deferring his position, which he will need to manage. Either you get there or you find a different spot. We have two people going for the same spot each time. It's almost like they're jumping in front of him. But either way, it's something we can figure out. Not a problem. I thought the defense played really well. They definitely need to, this is to Barcelona fans, this is no surprise. They definitely need to improve their backdoor man coverage, as we almost got scored on the very end, right? There was two instances, but specifically in the extra time, we're going for the ball's playing out on the right side. Everyone commits to the middle. Araujo, PK, and then the left fullback from Mallorca runs all the way up and gets a volley on the near post, which is the far opponent's defending, and we had all of our center backs all sucked in, trying to defend on the 6-yard box, the 6-yard spot in the middle. And then he runs to the back completely wide open. I feel like we need to do a better job checking our shoulder. We got to do a better job. Rojo, as soon as he was managing, it seemed like they got opportunities down that right side when he started managing the right side. Now, yes, it's possible that you can always catch people slipping when your left fullback goes all the way up for a shot, but you can't be blind to it. You need to have a natural reaction to look your shoulder and just confirm to get a body in front of him if need to. I thought PK had a solid game with the youth in the back. It seemed like he was orchestrating a very solid defense. Everyone was deferring to him, and it seemed like he was getting things done. Now, Luuk de Jong, he had a good game as well. Now, I know he's not as transformative in the middle as he has been in previous years or previous seasons, but I think he had a different responsibility. Specifically today, he was playing CDM, and I think he is playing his job the way Xavi wants him to. He's not making as many runs, and he may not be as perfect as you think he is, but he is managing risk. Remember, he is replacing Busquets. Busquets is not somebody that attacks into the offense. It's not because he's just slow, but it's because of the position they're playing. Especially with youngsters running the offense and losing the ball in disadvantageous positions, it's important for Luuk de Jong to be the anchor and make sure we're not getting gashed through the middle. And you can see Mallorca, they play right down the middle for attack, so it's important for him to stay home. Ricky Puig seems to be getting better. He's a little light on the ball and suspect to challenges, but he did a pretty good job. Sometimes he runs into other people's space, I've noticed. He runs into their space in front of them, or he runs in front for a give-go, as if you have Messi running into the box, and then they're kind of forced to get in a bad position, and then he kicks it out wide. So it's like he gets there for the give-go, but then pushes the give-go out wide when the player may have attacked the goal. I feel like it's just something to learn with time. He did have a solid game. I think there's always room for improvement. So, also, one more thing. I thought we had a good defensive game. Overall, I think we had a solid effort, which everyone should be proud of. Ter Stegen saved us 2 points in that save with that quick reaction hand block. Garcia was pushing up on the offense. I like that a lot. They even showed him on the sidelines. Speaking with Xavi, I'm assuming Xavi said, why didn't you take advantage of this? Why didn't you take advantage of this? And we get so used to sitting back. People believe sitting back, not people, but sometimes people feel that if they sit back when they're playing these positions, they're not going to get caught in transition or they're going to be safer. Unfortunately, when you sit in the back and you don't take advantage of all of your offensive opportunities, there's a huge gap in the middle. And if you start pushing on the offense, their responsibility is to mark you so they will get further away from your goal, creating more space so that you don't have to defend as much area. Once again, PK had great aerial duels this entire game. I also feel like, was it Nico and Alcomach, they were not really on the same page on the right side. There was a little bit of disconnect with Mingueza, but with that being said, I mean, you've got some players coming up in some huge games. You imagine being, imagine starting for Barcelona, right? Against Mallorca, this is a real league game that put them in the 5th position in La Liga. So either way, I have to say I'm really proud of this team. I thought this was a great game. I'm really excited to see what 2022 has for Barcelona. Everyone, have a good day. Talk to you everyone soon.